Hi folks, Mark here with the Exiles. This is part 2 of just this little interesting quirk about Fiores' system, about the beak always being up. So if you haven't watched part 1, it's linked underneath the video below. In this video we're just going to explain a little bit more about the functional use of these parts of the poleaxe, but we're going to focus specifically on the beak, okay, and using that as part of the fight as it unfolds. The pointy bit at the very top of the poleaxe, okay? It's very easy to think of this as just like a spear, but Mark's going to explain that it's a bit more than that.
Yeah, I mean, essentially it is like a spear, obviously, because it comes to a point and you can thrust it into people. But if you actually look at how it's designed, it's a bit more like a rondelle dagger, which gives you a little bit of clue about how it would actually be used for penetration. But it's also it's at the end of this, it's very stiff. So if, for example, we get Mark to put this down for a sec, we use this straight in. Yes, I can ram it into Mayo, ram into gaps. Or he's got a technique where he lifts the visor up and he'll ram it in. So it's definitely like a spear, or like a rondelle dagger in that case. Smash it straight in. But the other thing that's good about the actual pointy bit here is that if I get it onto metal, it will quite often grip. It'll latch on slightly. Or it might be on mail on here, or some mail round the collar. But if I get it on, and if Mark just holds it for a second and tries to resist, I can use this to push it. Yeah? It's quite hard for him not to, even if he was in full armour, it will push him backwards. This means I can control my opponent to a certain degree, move them backwards, get them off balance. And if I'm pushing, say, from this side, I'll just do it, but it's easy for camera. Once I've got my range, I might not be able to see because of my visor. I can't see particularly well, but I know where he is because of the distance of this. I can turn this and crack. So blind, I can find him and then hit. And it makes it very good. So it's not just for damaging, it's for distance control, opponent control, and basically find out where you can hit. So it's a very useful part of the poleaxe. So one of the things you notice about the beak itself is because it's actually slightly curved, what it really is it's for hooking. It's for grabbing, hooking and pulling. That's the purpose of the beak. It's not actually for striking through and actually piercing itself. If you try to hit something with this, it could cause a lot of damage, but it could also get stuck, which means you've lost your poleaxe. So this is a hooking weapon. So what I'm looking at doing, say, against an opponent like this, is I'm looking to come in, I can hook behind. Now if he's got a helmet on, that's fine, there'll be something to grab. If he's got mail on, it'll hook into the mail. If I get into skin, I can hook actually on the actual spinal cord itself. I can hook. If I miss slightly, I'll probably catch the top of his shoulder, some metal, wherever it is. Now once I've hooked him, I can then bring him to ground. Once he's on ground, then the hammer comes into play. So this is part of the thing about the early stage of the fight. What it means is that I can actually go fishing. Now I know we've got a sharp weapon here, but if, say for example, Mark goes into posture over there, and he attacks me, I could come into narrow this, but what I can do instead is I can fire past him, and as he pushes in with his attack, he's basically hooked himself.
And you're safe. And
I'm safe. Now down to ground he comes. Remember, he's in full armour, top heavy, down to ground, around it comes. So, it's a hook, that's what it's there for. It's to pull and go. I can push past him and hook. I can, if I get the opportunity, I've got a leg, I'll drag his knee out. So, that's the purpose of the beak. So I don't want to hit with it. Don't get me wrong, if I hit, I've got to play with it. But if I know it's up, I'll be smashing, turning, hooking. Very powerful, very good motor tool. The beak.
Thanks for watching, and until the next one.